Hello everyone, my name is Zizan and I'm a pre-IB student in Toronto, Canada that will become a computer scientist in the future. In this video of the series, I'll be teaching you guys how to use for loops in the Python programming language. Alongside dictionaries, for loops is an essential of learning Python. It is 10 times easier than dictionaries, whilst it is more useful than dictionaries in simple lines of code. Like I said, simple lines of code. For loops in general or loops in general are useful because they are used for codes that need to be repeated multiple times. For example, you have to move forward. For move forward, you wouldn't write move forward 7 times. That's taking too much time. Also, you're typing it out multiple times. Your fingers will eventually get tired out. But instead, what you would do, you'd put a loop command there, which will instead repeat the same line multiple times. So let's get started and see what for loops are and how we can implement them in our Python code. Okay, so I'm going to go in more in depth to see what a for loop is individually. So a for loop is a type of loop that lets you repeat a set of instructions for each item in a sequence. In Python, you can use a loop or for loop to iterate a range of numbers, a list of items, or any iterable object. Let's start with a simple example. Suppose we want to print out the numbers from 1 to 10. Here's the code we could use. For I in range 1 to 11, so I use 1 to 11 because it needs to print 1 to 10 and it goes one number behind. So now we will print this. Let me explain how this code works. The range function generates a sequence of numbers from 1 to 10. And then the loop function iterates through the sequence and assigns the value to the variable I. And then finally, the function is called to the output to the value of I and then is printed to the console. So as you can see, when we run this code, we'll see the numbers 1 through 10 printed out to the console. But guess what? We can do more with for loops than just print out numbers. Let's say we have a list of names and we want to print out each name on a separate line. Here's how we could do that. So names. Okay, these are our names. And now what next we will do? Print name. Now we do print name because we want each name to be individual. So continue this. Oh. So as you can see, it printed each name in a separate line. So in this code, we created a list of names to store in the variable names. And then we use it for a loop to iterate over the list, just like we did for the numbers, assigning each name for the variable name. And then finally, we use the print function to output the value of name. So print function value. Okay. So that's a brief introduction to loops and for loops in Python. Remember, a for loop lets you repeat a set of instructions for each item in a sequence. You can use for loops to iterate over ranges of numbers, lists of items, or any other iterable object. I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.